I'm Jeni Cairns and this is my exhibition Decorative Shadows, which is at the City Gallery, and it opens tomorrow, which is Friday 8th of May, and it runs until Sunday the 7th of June. This exhibition's really been an exploration of different faiths and belief systems, religions. There's all sorts of pieces which kind of relate to religious objects that people kind of put faith into, I guess, and why do those things suddenly become precious or important to them, because it's more than just the materials, or it definitely is to them, and it's just kind of working out why do those things, you know, become important to people. And I've mainly used the medium of metal, especially lately in the past year, and I just really love the hardness of it, but the fact that with plasma cutter you can really create some intricate, delicate patterns within the metal. So it's got a quite nice contrast. My starting point really was last year doing the show garden for Hampton Court with Metal, the organisation, and they said, we've got these oil drums if you want to use them, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do with these? And talking to my dad about how could I cut them up, and because I really wanted to create crisp lines, whereas things like a grinder, it's quite hard to control the sort of cutting. So he said, what you need to plasma cut. So I just looked into it, and as soon as I started seeing what you could do with them, I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to have this in my life. I just bought one, not even knowing if I'd enjoy using it or if it would be something that would, you know, even I'd be able to do, you know. So I just bought it really, and as soon as I got that in my hand, I was like, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life, I think. I just started cutting, and I think because of my drawing background, maybe I've got a fairly steady hand, or I'd use this hand to steady this one while I was following my own lines, which I've drawn on. And over the time, I've kind of developed it and hopefully made it more fine in detail. And especially for this exhibition, I've got some pieces which are quite intricate, and I've had to use like rulers and, you know, geometrically draw things out, which is kind of a bit unusual for me because I'm a bit freehand and sketchy. And probably also I've developed a new way of drawing, because throughout my whole sort of college and things, it was always, don't just draw the line, you know, you need tone, you need depth, so I was always trying to avoid an outline, and now I have to really draw to create an outline. It's kind of weird, but I did enjoy that challenge. I think the temple piece, which was slightly ambitious, and I suppose it really goes along with the kind of things I like to do. I had these hoops of metal, and I thought, oh, maybe I could turn those into an arch, and then cutting the panels out. The cutting of the panels took ages, but I didn't have a lot of time, so I did it over a weekend, and by the end I was just exhausted and sick of it, but really pleased with. My dad helped me kind of like build the arch shape, and I think it came together really well. And another one is a piece called Armour, which I'd been to the V&A and looking at the Indian sort of decorative area in the museum, and came across this fabric armour sort of body, I don't know, it's kind of like a body armour, but it was made out of fabric, and I was thinking, oh, that's really weird, because in this country we just associate armour with, you know, heavy metal chainmail, and it's got a really distinctive look to it, and this was completely different, and it was all decorated and patterned, and it just instantly made me think of the kind of armour we wear as women, or just people in everyday life, you know, how you project yourself, the kind of clothes you wear, makeup, you know, they're all these things are things which we kind of use to kind of protect ourselves or express a part of ourselves, and it just kind of made me think of that. And I had this lovely patinated oil drum, which was really battered at the ends, but it had this really nice patina over it, and I just thought it worked perfectly for that. So I've been really pleased with that piece. Probably for about the past 10 to 15 years, I'm mainly focused on painting, figurative, abstract, and a lot of collage. And I've always experimented with different media, but since I started doing the garden design and the flower shows, it's brought back the old part of me that used to work with metal and recycled materials, which is what I mainly sort of concentrated on at college, because my dad had this wonderful farmyard full of stuff that he let me use, which he still does. One day he's going to run out and I'll be like, what am I going to do? But so at college I did use quite a lot of metal in my work, and I used to use things like the oxyacetylene welder and do a bit of welding. And then I suppose life circumstance, I went to uni, I got kind of pigeonholed as a painter, so I kind of just went along that, you know, that path, I guess. And then since I came back, and now I live in my grandparents' house, so I've got all these things available to me again, and that's kind of where it's brought me back full circle in a way, and it feels really good because I kind of feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do, rather than just, you know, just dealing with, oh, you can only use this, or just having those. I think a really important influence for me growing up has been being surrounded by this old bits of machinery, bits and pieces. My grandma was a hoarder. I think I've definitely, you know, I've taken on her trait, and much to the annoyance of everyone in my family. And I think my dad as well, because he, you know, he never threw anything away. He thought something might come in useful, and I'd be always sort of playing outside in the yard and always looking at things with texture, things with rust, things with patterns, and I think that now I really see how that has really influenced me more than I would have guessed in a way. And I do like to use stuff which, I suppose it's that thing where you walk past something 10 times and then something will kind of like come to you in a little, ooh, I wonder if this would work. And I do like to experiment a lot and play around, and sometimes things don't work and sometimes they work okay. So and things like the big metal panels at the back, they've come from an old grain silo, which is, I've been looking at for years, you know, it's been there, and I've been allowed to cut it up and play around with it, and I just really love the sort of patination that nature's created on it over the years. And I just thought I would work in a gallery space. After the exhibition in July, I'm going to be taking part in the Peterborough Open Studios. I'm only open for one weekend, but it'd be great if anyone wants to come and see how I work, how, you know, what my studio is like, stuff like that, on the 11th and 12th of July.
Brilliant.